It's here. The 2024 NFL schedule has been released. Let's talk about it a little bit, as well as some of the fantasy football impact.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh.
Murray heaves it downfield. It is caught. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins. Miraculous. It's Murray magic.
The sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Welcome to the sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Singh, and I am joined by my lovely co-host, Charlotte Shaff. Charlotte, outside of Harrison Butker and outside of schedule release, what has been happening in your life this week? Tell us something good.
Good. Okay. I thought this
anything.
was my chance to vent. Let's just say middle school boys and homework is a whole new ball of wax. If anybody has middle schoolers, how the heck did you get through it? But okay, I got to talk about good stuff.
It doesn't have to be good. We can vent about that if you'd like.
No, I'm very excited that school is over next week for my boys. I think we all need a break. So I'm excited for summer break. I'm excited because we just booked our tickets to Michigan for July. I get to stay on a lake in the middle of a small town in Michigan for a week with my family. So I'm very excited about that. So I'm looking forward. They say that you can always be in a good mood once you've planned a trip. You are looking forward to that. So I'm excited about that.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. I get to go to Cabo, but it's not till the first week of July. So I have lots to look forward to. I love lake living. I mean, we don't get that here. So
It's the best. It really is the best. The fact that you can wake up in the morning and walk outside and go straight to the water, it just is incredible.
is that hat new?
This is very new. I just got it at Macy's. I was helping my son buy clothes for his 8th grade promotion dance, and I spotted this hat and I said, I gotta have it.
So cute. If you're listening and not watching, Charlotte is wearing like a trucker cap. It's beige, brownish beige on the front with the Cardinals bird logo. Just super simple. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Me too. A little different.
I like that, a little different. I tend to look for that myself when I'm buying gear because everything starts to look the same after a while.
It does. It does.
Well, yesterday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, the NFL schedule was released. There was a wave of excitement. Everybody was looking towards their own team. I rushed right away to the Cardinals page just to see what they had initially posted. It was just a photo with a link to the SeatGeek single game tickets and posted this meme. I'm sure everybody's seen this meme, maybe. It's this little girl and she's in the stands of some game and she's like 3 or 4 years old eating blue cotton candy. It's all over her face. And all of a sudden the sugar hits her and she like clenches her fists and her teeth and like shakes.
Yes, it's one of the best.
I love that meme. And so I replied that to the Cardinals. And then surprisingly, they replied back to me and said, us right now. And I was like, that makes me feel like, makes us feel part of the
Yeah, it does. That's the
group.
whole joy of social media is when, this kind of stuff happens and everybody can feel the same way and yeah, just have fun with it.
Well, as each of these milestones pass, how are you feeling as we get closer to the season? I know that to me, it feels like now what's next, but I guess it's, open mini camps are next for us. But how do you feel as each of these milestones pass?
I think that it all helps build up just more and more excitement. and feeling more in control because you understand, who's playing what week, what channel it's going to be on. There's less of a situation where it's a mystery. So
Yeah.
just being aware of what to expect now and being able to see everybody else's schedules definitely makes me excited and anticipating the beginning of the football season. And it also makes you think about how people have certain expectations at the beginning of the year and what is it going to look like at the end of the season? Like, where are we going to be and where are the other teams? And who's going to
Yeah.
fall? Who's going to fall? I mean, last year, did we expect what would happen with the Jets? That kind of stuff. You just never know. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. And being able to see the full schedule, not just our schedule, but everybody's schedule, it gets me in a planning kind of mood too. So,
Mhm.
are there games that you're really looking forward to? Are you planning to travel to any games, do you think?
I actually am very interested, and I haven't really talked about this with my husband, but I'm interested in either the Miami game because my sister lives in South Florida, and that's still a decent time of the year to go as long as there's no crazy hurricanes. I think it's the end of October. And then Seattle, even though I can't stand the Seahawks, I have always heard that the city is amazing
Mhm.
and the fans are amazing, and I would love to check them out too.
That is a game I think I would like to go to as well. And my daughter's boyfriend happens to be there from there. So it could be fun
Oh,
for all of us to maybe make it a family event.
yes, that would be so cool. How about you?
Well, the game I am most looking forward to happens to fall November 3rd on my birthday. So
Oh,
I get to have a
yay.
birthday home game.
Ooh, very nice.
I mean, I could bring cake. Everybody show
Mhm.
up to the Great Lawn. I'll have some cupcakes.
I love it. I think you may need to make it like a thing, and then you need to be in the running for the tailgater of the day, that contest they do.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be so
Mm.
fun?
That's a good idea. We got to figure out how you do that. I don't know
I
how
mean, you're in
they
PR.
enter
Let's figure
people.
this out.
I don't know how they enter people for that. I mean, we don't tailgate on the Great Lawn. We're over in the gray lot where it's hot as balls out.
Flashbacks of we tailgated in the green lot last year, and I thought I was going to die in a porta potty. I don't
Oh,
know why
yeah.
I'm telling this story, but I'm going pee, and I thought I was gonna pass out from the heat. Like,
Mhm.
let me out. I'll just hold it.
Mhm. It's
People
hard.
don't realize that it's warm here for so deep into the season.
I know, I know. And then you get to the last few games of the season where it's cold and
Mhm.
windy and you're like shivering and you can't wait to get in. There's only maybe like one or two games where the weather is absolutely perfect. If you look out with the schedule where we have those kind of home games in like the end of October, mid-November.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Oh, we also got a Monday night football. So
I
that is gonna be exciting.
know. The only challenge is, did you see that it's going to be on ESPN Plus?
Oh gosh.
So it's not Fox, it's not CBS, it's not even ESPN, it's ESPN Plus. So, we kind of got the shaft on that one, I feel like.
Well, people love Monday night football, so hopefully they'll tune in and maybe we'll have some wins under our belt to help further incentivize.
Yes, I am very excited about the way that they have it stacked for the beginning of our schedule because we have four home games.
Yes.
And that makes me feel like, hey, let's really we saw the news that the season tickets have all been sold this year. So
Mhm.
it would be really cool to hear a very loud stadium rooting for the Cardinals and helping us win these home games.
I am so glad you mentioned that. I wanted to talk about that last week, but I was sick, so we didn't have a show last week. That is going to be so exciting for all of the season tickets to have sold out. We should be able to not be the minority in our
Right,
own stadium this year.
right. I hope so. I hope it's not a bunch of freaking ticket brokers who are selling to the other team. That sometimes happens. So I
Yeah.
have told my rep at the Cardinals that I really need him to push for our section to be actual legit Arizona Cardinal ticket holders because I'm sick of being surrounded by the away fans.
Well, this year is going to be different. Mark my words. Okay, let's move on because talking about schedules, and we've talked a little bit about the Cardinals, but not all of their content that went out. There were some really creative schedule releases. Did any of them stand out to you in particular, or, whatever you want to talk about schedule
Uh,
release wise?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I have to admit that yes, the Chargers won it. If there was a competition, the Chargers won it. I don't completely understand Sims or
Yeah.
those video games, but that was pretty freaking creative. Being also a Lions fan, I was underwhelmed. I I don't know if it's because I'm not part of the Detroit environment these days to understand who the two guys were, but I was very underwhelmed by that. That was kind of a bummer. I thought the Dolphins one was kind of creative and hilarious and also kind of underwhelming in the same way, is it was literally Tyreek Hill and Raheem Mozart, and they just created this quick little video that literally just showed the schedule and that was it. But they're so darn adorable, I don't care.
Yeah,
Um,
I know.
yeah. And then, oh, the Browns. I don't know if you saw the
I
Browns one.
didn't.
I don't understand anything about bowling, but they had the entire reveal done through a bowling alley.
Huh,
And
I'll have to go
I don't
check
know
that
if
one out.
yeah, I don't know if the guy in it is a famous bowler or something. I know nothing about Cleveland, but that was quite interesting and different. I didn't expect that.
I liked the ones you mentioned. Yes, of course, the Chargers win. They actually have been so creative year after year.
Mhm.
I've seen on Reddit people underwhelmed by the Arizona release, and I get it. And I was trying to chime in saying, listen, they were hiring new people to this social media team as soon as last week or even this week.
Yeah.
I've seen announcements of them welcoming new team members, not necessarily from the Cardinals account, but from the individual admins' accounts. I follow a
Oh,
lot of them.
okay.
And just as soon as, just a week ago or even days ago, they're welcoming new team members. So we've got to cut them a little bit of slack to be able to get on board and go, even though we know this is a big initiative. The one
Mhm.
thing I did like, they had like a playlist of previous opponents prior to the schedule coming out. I thought that was pretty creative. And
Mhm.
then they showed those muralists.
Mhm.
Um,
Which were so talented. I mean, gorgeous work. Gorgeous work.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't know much about Phoenix and you're listening, mural culture is a big part of our city. Any blank wall you're going to pretty much find throughout central Phoenix all the way into downtown Phoenix, even spreading uptown now. Murals showing off different parts of Arizona culture, wildlife, music, art. It's so, so beautiful. That was really well done, I think. But it kind of I get how people would be underwhelmed when they see some of these other like kitschy
Yeah, yeah.
ones.
For me, I love that the art was featured and I love showing that off in Arizona. But the end reveal was literally like what, a second of showing the teams, and then all of a sudden we go to the actual graphic of the schedule and that was it. And it just kind of was like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. The schedule part I think needed more, but
Mm-hmm.
it was nice. It was beautiful, and I'm glad we got to showcase some of our art culture here in Phoenix. But one I thought was funny and clever and cute, but other people were probably super underwhelmed was the Tennessee Titans. And they had a girl on the street and she was asking people their impressions of each team logo or what they know about the team and its logo. And Some of the responses were so funny. Like one of them was this woman's like, "Oh, that's Eric Everly's girlfriend's favorite team," or something.
Oh my God.
And then they put up the logo, and then that's what they write above it instead of like the
Oh, that's
Bengals or
hilarious.
whatever. It just
Yeah.
said Eric Everly's girlfriend's favorite team. And then the week below it. And the one stuck out was the Jets. It said something like they peaked in 1979. So it has the Jets logo and it says peaked in 1979.
Oh,
Whatever.
dirty,
It was
dirty. That is hilarious.
it was just like whatever came into this person's mind as it related to the team. And I thought that was really kind of funny. So yeah, schedule release, lots happening. Social media is a bit of a dumpster fire, but it often is a bit of a dumpster fire.
It is. It's where people can say the most horrific things behind a screen to
Behind
other.
a screen. That's okay. If you want to say horrific things to us in the comments, go ahead. So lots of great and creative schedule reveals, but also part of this big reveal happens to be the bye weeks. And I saw a graphic that broke down all of the bye weeks, weeks 5 through 14, and thought, oh my goodness, this has huge fantasy impact. Huge fantasy impact. If you haven't seen it, well, let me back up. The Cardinals last year had bye week 14.
Mhm.
So, right at the end,
Yeah.
basically, this year we have week 11, closer to the middle. I would love to see a 9 or a week 10 or even a week 8. How do you think having a week 14 bye played into the Cardinals' play as a team?
I guess I don't really have any crazy thoughts on it. I felt as though the momentum kind of got squashed because of that.
I had
Um,
never really thought about that, but you're so right. They had just been getting kind of going at that point. To
mhm,
me, I think, man, these guys have been beaten up for
mhm.
14 weeks.
Yeah, yeah. They needed a break earlier and they just didn't have it and it just kind of blew up.
Yeah, I think that definitely makes an impact for sure. For sure. So I'm glad to see that they get a week 11 bye. But as far as impact on fantasy football in general,
Hmm.
weeks 12 and 14, there's no buys on week 13. So people who play fantasy football can take a little sigh of relief. When
Hmm.
you hit week 12, 6 teams are going to be on a bye. Week 14, another 6 teams are going to be on a bye. You're heading into you're gearing up for playoffs if you're in contention.
Hmm.
And here you are trying to scramble and fill the spots, potentially 6 spots. You could
I know.
potentially have 6 open spots.
I'm already kind of feeling very uncomfortable about that because what the heck am I gonna do? What am I gonna do in regards to who's on my bench? I'm reeling right now because I didn't really think about this until you brought it up.
Yep.
So what does that mean? Does that mean that we need to?
For me, what I'm thinking of is I'm going to do my draft and
Mhm.
then I'm going to hopefully have enough time in between picks to start cross-referencing these buys and picking up, some sort of I don't know if we call it a handcuff, some sort of replacement in those later rounds. I know they're not going to be the greatest, but I feel like that might be the best strategy is just to have a good second string that you can rely
Yeah.
on at least. Because there have been times where I try and not pick people who have the same bye week. And some years that works out, but that is literally impossible when
Yeah.
there are 6 teams all on a buy at once.
And I'll admit that that's usually not the thing that I think about when I'm picking
Yeah, you just
players.
want the
So
strongest team.
Yeah, you're educating me on some things that I guess I never really thought about. I've never been a crazy obsessed fantasy football person just because I don't have enough space in my brain
Sure.
for all this information. So I do rely on my apps to tell me, hey, so and so may be benched or so and so may be injured and that kind of stuff. So I need that help. I definitely do.
Well, I think that's how I'm going to approach it. I'm going to draft just like I normally would. I'm going to choose the strongest team. And
Mhm.
then I'm going to say, okay, it looks like I've got this many guys out on week 12. And then I need to fill those spots, somebody who's not in week 12. But I'm
Yeah.
not going to waste any of my early picks stressing out about it. I'm just not.
No,
I
I'm
don't
I'm
think we
definitely
can.
gonna be looking at this a lot closer when I'm picking.
You kind of have to, because last year was just one of the weeks that was, I think it was like week 13, maybe, that it was like that. And
Mhm.
then every other week was pretty normal. To have 2 weeks with that many teams on a bye is just so wild to
It
me.
is wild.
Well, it has been another great week. We are highly anticipating the final signatures on a few of our star rookie players to come in, but there's no stress. No stress.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
it's good. It's all good.
If anybody out there has anything to say about today's show, if you want to chime in, join in, please find us on the app formerly known as Twitter. I'm Kelly in Phoenix. She is Shar Shaff, and the show is Sick Pod Kelly. You can also leave comments on our YouTube platform if you're watching. I actually should probably check in on those.
I yeah, I know. I guess I haven't gotten any alerts for him.
Me either, but they're out there.
Well, thanks for listening and don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and anything you can do to support us. We really, really, really appreciate it. Don't forget, you can watch us on YouTube or you can subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app.
You certainly can. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.